is you should be human, right? The more that you're focused on an actual person and the real world, the better off you are, right? This would be terrible if any presentation where someone just reads slides to you, they're not even looking at you. They're looking at their slide and reading off it's terrible, right? So like I've even gotten to the point where I don't think that companies should really hire spokespeople anymore. I think it should be someone in the company, and it's not easy.
You're going to lose me a job here, bud. Come on, well, take it easy.
Well, you work at the company. You're not an external person.
Sure.
You're not hiring an actor. You're in the thing, right? And that's authenticity. And like Nick said before, also he said about making videos to send them out to people, prospecting videos. Mm-hmm. He said, make it and send it. At least the first few. Don't look at it. Trust me, it'll be okay.
That's the hardest thing to do. That's impossible.
It's hard, but his point is that we don't necessarily want perfection out of someone. Like perfection isn't human. It's creepy.
Yeah. You'd almost say, because Sarah she's so good at those videos, it's almost a disadvantage, because then you're like, is this a hired actor? Like they nailed the script. And not that Sarah isn't authentic. Obviously she's very authentic, but I think compared to the average sales development rep, she's a pro. Like she's
a trained actor.
Yeah. And she's a damn good one too.
I have one of my best friends in the world was the best man in my wedding, is a very, very good actor. And he did a one-man show where he played, 30 parts. The show called Fully Committed. It was about a guy who was, at this restaurant handling all the booking and playing all these different characters. And the night we went to see him, he messed up. Well, he didn't mess up. He had a phone that was ringing. He had to pick it up and the cord came out of the phone. And in that moment where everything lapsed a little bit and he handled it beautifully, it just hits you how good he was at it, right? It was an amazing moment because it increased the power of the performance, because it was that little human moment in there. And I've never forgotten that. If I stumble or if I say or I have an emotional moment, it enhances the communication, and we shouldn't be afraid of that.
Makes it more authentic. And I think as somebody who's on the receiving end of any sales messaging, I'm looking for things that aren't real, that aren't authentic. And I was lamenting before, I see a lot of these videos that are sent to me, and the first thing that I see is something that's not authentic. And it's a screenshot of the video, or like the preview of the video. And it's the rep sitting there with a clipboard with like, "Hi, Colin," written clearly not in like marker. It's like very obviously been added in. And I'm like,
yeah,
not authentic. Like if you genuinely send me one of those, I usually try and respond. I'm not perfect. And they don't always make it into my inbox, but like if you're authentic and you're going to take some time, I'll take some time and I'll give you some feedback. But if you're going to send me one of those, like if you're going to automate me into a, outreach tool, I'm going to automatically.
You want my time, but you're not going to spend your time to get it. Yeah. That's a very,
it's being a selfish human.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, with the problem, right? Here's another litmus test that I have, right? If you are starting with you're immediately not interesting. No one is interested in me in this presentation. They're interested in what I can do to help them, and people will be nice in face-to-face interactions, and they'll, we have a little chit chat at the beginning and whatnot. But if I don't have something, if I'm just talking about how wonderful I am, then they're just being lost if I'm not providing something of value. But if you talk about that problem, but think about websites, emails, proposals, videos, anything where at E.L. Hutton, we've been in business for 350 years. That's great, but I don't care. Does it make sense? That's why like those love-hate statements, get right to it. And then And then you can start to, in the decision-making process, you can start to be like, okay, well, have they been around a while? Do they have this capability? Do they have that capability? Um, so, and it's interesting. So it's bringing me to my third point here. Um, and it's interesting how many other problems this solves. My third point is to be brief, right? So if you have to hone everything down to 30 seconds, 45 seconds, then you lose all that pre-ramble at the beginning that's about you, generally speaking, and you get right to the problem, right? What's the most important thing here? Um, so taking 2 paragraphs of copy to explain something is always less interesting than a great headline.